One of the things that I forgot to mention is my trips to the ER. So, and this is important because this comes down to like trusting your judgment and what you feel is right and good. So, the first trip to the ER was when I lost vision in my left eye and I went to Mass Eye and Ear. It was a very calm experience. I like walked myself there. It was just basically like, I can't see, what do we do? The second trip to the ER was when I started having the heart palpitations at lunch during a Christmas thing when I went to the Museum of Broadway. And that was like a scary experience because I literally did not know what was going on with my heart and I was just having chaos. My third experience of going to the ER is interesting because I was having heart palpitations as the result of taking iodine supplements. So I had seen a functional medicine doctor who I am no longer seeing, who essentially prescribed an iodine supplement that was just wholly like incorrect for me. I have Hashimoto's. Iodine and Hashimoto's, they don't really go together. And I honestly should have used my common sense and like done research into what supplements I was taking. But I had so much iodine that it was causing heart palpitations as well as incredibly high sensations of anxiety. I had a doctor's appointment via telehealth and I had an active anxiety attack sitting in the telehealth to the point where I tried to calm myself down and I thought I was going to faint in my apartment by myself. And I just decided to like put myself in an Uber and go to the emergency room because I didn't know what was going on. It didn't feel like my normal like fainting episodes. And so I went to the emergency room and the doctor, in fairness to her, she was right. She basically was like, I can't find anything wrong with you. Like if you're experiencing all of these things and like, I don't have anything else to test you for. There's nothing shown on your scans. Your blood work is normal. Like there's nothing that I can do. I think you should get a neuropsych evaluation. And I have never been more offended in my life. Now, in retrospect, I realize why she did it. But at the time, I was so mad. I was so mad because it just felt like there was another doctor telling me that I need to get a neuropsych evaluation because I am presenting as like somebody who is mentally unstable, not someone who's going through a medical problem. And I put off doing the neuropsych evaluation for like 2 months. And then I finally was like, F it, I'm going to go and do it. And thank God I did, because I did the neuropsych evaluation and you know what it came back with? PTSD. You know what it didn't come back with? Anxiety. There was not a single anxiety disorder. There was not a single depressive disorder. I did discover that I have ADHD inattentive type, so that was news. But that was it. ADHD inattentive type and PTSD, which, of course I have PTSD after every single thing that I went through for the last 3 years of like trying to fight for my health, my body betraying me feeling like I was living in like the weirdest version of life. Yeah, that makes total sense. But any time after that, after I discovered that I had that, and after I discovered that I didn't have anxiety, anytime I went to the doctor and they tried to say, you're just anxious, my response was, no, I'm not. Because I had a neuropsych evaluation and I don't have an anxiety disorder. So please stop trying to diagnose me with it. And it's unfortunate that it took a neuropsych evaluation to get doctors to listen to me, because up until then I had been saying, I'm a therapist. I know the signs of an anxiety disorder. I don't match them. I also know the signs of my own anxiety, and this ain't it. And yet that still wasn't enough. That wasn't enough for them to believe me. It took me going and sitting in a room for 4 hours and having my cognitive abilities tested in order to identify if I was doing okay. And that's absurd. It should not take somebody to go and do all of these things in order to be believed by a doctor when they say, I am not anxious, my body is producing this. And in my case, the real kicker with POTS is that your body starts having anxious reactions to things that it doesn't even know why. For instance, I can sit on a park bench and if the wind blows a certain way or if I twist my head a certain way, I can go into fight or flight like that for no reason. Now, I have finally figured out ways for me to calm myself down. I found tools and tricks that allow me to stay seated and grounded and not not panic. But when that first starts happening, you have no idea what is going on. So you're not only experiencing the physical sensations that your body is producing that cause anxiety, but then you also have the mental anxiety that's on top of that. And those two things are so challenging to deal with, but what makes them worse is a healthcare person who disregards them or just tells you that it's all in your head. None of this was in my head. All of this was being caused by something going on a physical level that completely just wrecked my world. And one of the final things that I will say is that, or maybe not the final thing, because God knows I always have a lot to say, but one of the things that I think is important is that during this entire experience, I have been unable to sing. And the reason that it's important is because when I sing, I get all of the sensations. I will have a POTS episode if I sing. I get lightheaded, I get dizzy, I have difficulty standing, I can't feel my arms, I can't feel my legs. And I essentially will trigger something, which is weird because I have been a singer since I was 8. So the fact that over this course of time, something has happened in my neck region, my throat region, somewhere around here, that if I sing, I am down for the count, automatically tells me that something is very wrong. And if I can induce an anxiety sensation by singing, that's a problem. Because singing is my safe space. Singing is how I express myself. Singing is the fullest communication of who I am to the world when I'm able to do it. And the fact that I can't, and the fact that my body is just not allowing for that, tells me that something is wrong on a physical level.